Nitish Kumar has sworn in as Chief Minister of Bihar for the 9th time, for the second time in 2 years. He's resigned as CM in the morning. He's back as CM in the evening. The BJP now has 2 deputy chief ministers in Bihar. The party state president is now a deputy chief minister, and the leader of the opposition, as of yesterday, is now a deputy chief minister. There is one other BJP minister who's been appointed to cabinet. 3 JDU ministers have been appointed to cabinet and 2 others, one independent and one from the HAM. So it's done. Let's open up this conversation. Vineet Goenka joining us to analyze this with us. Gyanendra Mishra still with us. Pooja Tripathi representing the Congress party. Pooja ji, obviously an unhappy day. You would not have liked to see this both in the state and given the fact that we are 2 months away from a general election. What went wrong, ma'am?
I seriously don't know, Rishabh, what went wrong. I think when we talk about young people in politics, myself, we look at these people in positions and power. We look at these people with huge numbers of experience, with, spanning decades. And then you come across as a person, when I started as a developmental professional a few years back, when I returned from US, I started with Nitish Kumar working in health department, and I adored his style of working. But now when I see Nitish 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, 6, 7, 8, 9, I see a person who has fallen from grace, who is bereft of any political ideology, who is shamelessly pursuing personal gains, and he comes across as someone, who has no ideology of his own, who does not cling to his words, who should have given his way to young talent in politics, who should have given his support for forming a formidable opposition alliance. But now he has joined the same party who he said कि मैं मर जाऊंगा लेकिन
he's not joined the party, he's allied himself to the party, he's not joined the BJP, of course, yes.
Sorry, he has allied himself with the same NDA bloc जिसने कहा था कि मैं मर जाऊंगा तो वापस नहीं जाऊंगा. Remember Nitish ji at Patna airport when he has just exited NDA and somebody asked him about Sushil Modi being the part of campaign committee chairman. He said कि संदेशा आया था अमीर का पर सौदा हो ना सका ज़मीर का. And look at him now. I think he was the one who was the chief architect of India Alliance, and he just one day decides. And we have seen 17 months of the Mahagathbandhan work, that then there have been bumper employment opportunities. The 2 days before the Ram Mandir Ayodhya, there was a Ram Janki government medical college being opened at Samastipur, and there have been results of the caste-based census.
Okay.
So I'm saying
okay, so ma'am, obviously you're upset, and Nitish Kumar is obviously doing as crass political opportunism as it can possibly get. Nobody's buying it for any other reason. For sure that, I'm sure there were grievances. There are always grievances running a coalition government. Not to say there won't be grievances running a coalition government with the BJP. But the bottom line, Pooja ji, is that Nitish Kumar wanted to be the convener, therefore the prime ministerial face of the opposition alliance for the 2024 election. Why couldn't you agree? And as the principal party without whom the alliance is meaningless, the Congress party, why didn't you give him that opportunity?
I think Vineet, then if he wanted to be a prime ministerial candidate, then it's a blessing in disguise. Somebody who cannot go up beyond his personal ambitions for the greater political good should better leave the alliance and take his own path. This is a blessing in disguise for India Alliance if it's done for the prime ministerial post, which has been said in news reports, which has not been confirmed everywhere. India Alliance was formed on the fundamental principle that we will move away from the centralization of politics. We want to put the people's issue at the center of politics, at the core of politics, be it inflation, be it unemployment, be it Manipur burning, be it crime against women, be it anything. We wanted to put people at the center of politics rather than having many prime ministerial faces. There's a strong Mamta ji, there's Arvind Kejriwal ji, there's Stalin, there's everyone who is part, and they are big leaders in their local region, in their state, they're big formidable leaders. I think if that is true, then it's a blessing in disguise for India.
Okay, but what's happening with the alliance, ma'am? Because you have an uncomfortable situation in come on, let's be realistic. It's uncomfortable in West Bengal. It's more than uncomfortable in Punjab. It is, you have in UP, you have Akhilesh Yadav, who in the past 24 hours has informed you how many seats he will allow you to contest. It is completely in tatters in Bihar. So what is left other than maybe MK Stalin? Who's left?
See, seat sharing would always be something that would have been that would be the most difficult part of this India alliance, and we are traversing through. Our leaders are sitting. Akhilesh ji has said that हम सिर्फ सम्मानजनक एक alliance बना रहे हैं, हम सब साथ में हैं. Stalin has said, everyone has said, India alliance is still strong. We were 28 parties, we are not 27 parties, and we are not tatters in Bihar. This is an end and demise of Nitish Kumar's political party. Nitish Kumar is a political person, and this is his last term as CM, and I think he should have gracefully retired, but rather he's clung on to politics. I don't know why, but we are very strong, we are very formidable, and we are ready to take on the NDA alliance in 2024.
Okay, but that is of course the alliance. And you are, of course, speaking for the party which is invested in this alliance. And yes, it has taken part in all the meetings. And your party leader, Mr. Kharge, has repeatedly suggested that the party is wanting to put together an alliance. But for the party itself, ma'am, is it better for you to get out there and contest the seats? Because in many places where you slipped to number 3, you never recovered. As the Congress party. In UP, for example, in Tamil Nadu, it's unhappy. In Bengal, it's becoming unhappy. Even in Bihar, ma'am, the BJP, RJD had 78, 79 seats. You were down to 19. For the party itself, it wasn't looking good. So what is the Congress's plans now? Or does the Congress have its plans, or is it all wedded to working with others?
Not wedded to working with others. When we talk about the Congress plans, Mr. Gandhi has took out his Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra, which is getting huge, which is getting amazing response from people all across, from Manipur, from Meghalaya, from West Bengal, everywhere. People are turning out in large numbers, coming out, sharing the grievances with him. So when we talk about, when I said we want to keep people's politics, we want to have a formidable alliance, we want to have a strong, decisive alliance to fight against the divisive forces that are very strong. The undercurrent is very strong in India. So that's why we are in the process of alliance. And everybody is together. Everybody has agreed to one common goal, that is to rid the government out of the BJP governance, BJP's misgovernance and malpractices. Okay. And that's where the alliance has come. And Congress is fully committed to alliance, and Congress is doing its own hard work, it has Nyaya Yatra at one hand, otherwise Kharge ji is meeting booth workers, Karyakartas every other day in every other state. We are talking on the seat sharing formula. So Congress is doing its work. So we shouldn't say that Congress is just wedded to the alliance.
Okay, all right. It's obviously a difficult day and it's a difficult 2 months ahead. The results of what happens 2 months later are unpredictable. So what is the lessons we can draw? Let's address the aspect of Nitish Kumar once and for all, because there are other aspects of this to address as well. Okay. Now, Nitish Kumar, ladies and gentlemen, after he became Chief Minister for the first time, which was only for, I think, a week in the year 2000, but since 2005 till date, okay, here we are, 19 years later, Nitish Kumar had 2 options available to him as his career goes forward. Very unlikely that he had a future in Bihar. So the future was to either hope that this alliance which was being formed, of which the Congress has to be a principal part, otherwise this third front business never works, that they would make him, like Deve Gowda once before 25 years ago, a prime ministerial face. That hasn't happened. Now, his hope can only be that if the BJP were to once again come to power 2 months later, that they don't make it past the halfway mark of the Lok Sabha, that they get 240, 250 seats, where his relevance with maybe 10 odd seats in the JDU becomes very important. Because if the BJP sweeps to power, they don't need them. If, of course, they lose badly, then obviously what happens is irrelevant. So let's draw the line here. Let's draw the line on Nitish Kumar. Nitish Kumar has spent 19 years as Chief Minister. There is a limited opportunity. I mean, think of Shivraj Chauhan, who won an election in Madhya Pradesh, but personally did not return as Chief Minister. Sometimes even when you win, you lose. And there is a life cycle to all these things. So Nitish Kumar had two options. As bluntly as I can as a journalist, I'm telling you what these two options were. He tried one, it failed. He's now hoping on the other. Either way, his political future is uncertain. Now, let me quickly get Vineet Goenka into this conversation. Vineet Goenka, why Nitish did it is opportunism. He's hoping to stay relevant. He's hoping that you will forgive and forget. And honestly, Vineet Goenka is hoping the BJP wins as the NDA but not as the BJP. Okay, let's be realistic. Okay, that's what he's hoping for, that the NDA partners are more important to government formation than they have been for the past 10 years. So that's the chapter on Nitish. The question is, why is the BJP interested? You had 78 seats in Bihar. You've had the majority of MPs. You are hoping to do even better this time around than you did last time around. So why are you interested in Nitish Kumar and the JDU? Or why would the BJP be interested rather?
Rishabh ji, Ram Ram to you, Ram Ram to all my co-panelists and all the viewers who are watching me right now. It's always a pleasure to come on your show. As I said, it is Vigyan, Vikas and Virasat. Now, what we have seen in the last few days, an unholy alliance called as INDA alliance was getting around with a pure motive to insult Sanatanis and also to insult Biharis and the Hindi-speaking belt. You see, one of the partners in INDA alliance, DMK, called all the Hindi-speaking people, especially from Bihar, toilet cleaners. And I think these kind of statements, when they come from the India alliances, it not only insults one particular state, but also the entire Bharat as one. And there was no statement coming from a dynast called as Rahul Gandhi. And he was absolutely mum on this particular statement. So I think in the interest of Bihar and Bharat, whatever Nitish ji has done is a welcome step. It will bring development. It will also bring some kind of progress in Bihar, which was stalled for the last 14-15 months. As far as it goes for INDA alliances, I think it is a foregone conclusion that it's a bind-up case. A dynast who wants to rule the country as PM just because he's son of a prime minister, grandson of a prime minister, great-grandson of a prime minister, without any credentials, without any thought. I think today he has got a triple talaq. One from Mamta ji, two from Man Sahab, and third from Mananiya Nitish ji.
Yes, so it's a problem, very quick, but that's not answering my question. Why Nitish needs to do it is patently obvious. Now, you're being diplomatic right now, okay? But I'm saying it's patently obvious. For Nitish, he has no future as Chief Minister of Bihar. He knows it. He also is smarter than Uddhav Thackeray because he saw the writing in the wind last month when there was a partial coup, attempted coup in his party. Uddhav Thackeray unfortunately didn't see it happening. At least Nitish Kumar gave him his due. He's a more astute politician. He saw it coming. He saw it that there would be no party left. The JDU would move on without him because sometimes even your own people can feel that the future is not with you. So let's give him some credit. So he's placed his last card, his last dice. But that didn't answer my question. My question was, why would the BJP, which has its own significant presence in Bihar, in fact, the BJP, if I'm not mistaken, has almost 50% more seats, near twice the number of seats that the JDU does. Why would you need Nitish Kumar still? What mathematics is required here? Why would the BJP be interested?
So if you compare the number of seats BJP and the NDA alliances got in 2014 in Bihar and 2014 and 2019, whenever JDU has come in NDA, we have seen a progress of number of votes as well as number of seats. Number two, it is for Bihar, it is for Bharat, the development which will happen with twin engine. Thirdly, Bihar has 40 seats, Rishabh ji. Let's be not naive. And also, Biharis and the Purvanchalis impact another 40 seats outside in the Bharat. So it's all about 80 Lok Sabha seats which are there. I think this is going to benefit NDA and it will have a double impact on Rahul Gandhi's.
Okay. Yes, Bihar has 40 seats. I am assuming that no way in heck did this swearing-in ceremony happen if the seat sharing deal had not already been done. Now, Vineet Goenka can't say it, but I can. The seat sharing deal has been done. It's already dusted. The BJP knows exactly what it's contesting. Chirag Paswan has been told what he's contesting is probably 3 and not 6. The JDU knows what it's contesting, and the other smaller parties or one or two independents who might fall back into the BJP or in the JDU. So the deal is done. It's settled. No way would this swearing-in ceremony have happened if the deal was not done. Now, on the basis of argument of who took what last time, what was more important last time around, what matters in terms of the Lok Sabha elections, we can have the argument. But let's try to address this question. Savio Rodriguez, also BJP, joining us on the broadcast as well. Savio, thanks for joining us. Coming to you, Gyanendra ji, let's pick up the conversation from where we left off. Okay? So why Nitish has done it? He has done crass opportunism, last throw of the dice. He saw the writing on the wall last month with Lalan Singh. He knew that if he wants to remain relevant in politics, this was the option he had left. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, if the BJP struggles to meet the halfway mark, he is in a golden place for the next few years. If, however, it sweeps the elections and doesn't need him, well, all his MPs can join the BJP. What's stopping them? Okay. And he can be out of Bihar and out of center also. Personally, what happens to the future of the JDU, we don't know. When it comes to Chirag Paswan, let's not kid ourselves. Even as the inheritor of Ram Vilas Paswan's legacy, who did deliver 6-8 seats in the Lok Sabha and had a relevant presence in Bihar, Chirag Paswan has his own problems with family members. And the reason he's strong is because he has a good association with the BJP. So the BJP is now calling the shots in Bihar in terms of how their alliance is going to structure its contest. And I'm assuming the party is doing it on the basis of winnability. For the Congress party, Gyanendra ji, why does this make a difference? Does it not matter? If it does matter, what does it do?
For the Congress, Rishabh, when you look at the larger perspective of the India alliance, obviously it matters. But there's no going saying in that, the India alliance seems to be the strongest position in Bihar, given the political combination there, because all the major political anti-BJP forces were totally aligned in Bihar. JDU, RJD, Congress, left, all were on the one side, and that was the the nerve-breaking things for BJP, because BJP knew that it is going to face a very, very significant resistance in retaining its position of the Lok Sabha tally in Bihar. And it is a from looking from that perspective, obviously it is a loss to the India alliance. How much it will impact the outcome on Bihar in terms of absolute numbers is something we all need to, wait for. Because as you rightly said, the JDU as a political force in Bihar is certainly on decline, and a steep decline. Therefore, its winnability in Bihar, particularly in the Lok Sabha election, was always in a kind of a confusing and fluid state. And therefore, what actual impact will it have on terms of absolute numbers that the opposition alliance gets in Bihar is something to see in future, in near future.
Okay,
we'll all
okay,
see.
But Gyanendra Mishra, why not? Why not? I was discussing this with you earlier. There were two regional party leaders, KCR and Nitish Kumar, who were out and about last year trying to put together a national alliance. KCR even changed the name of his party. Okay. Now, he has lost, and he's not lost to the BJP. He's lost. He's been wiped out from his own state by the Congress. Nitish Kumar tried. Lots of conversations happened. They agreed on a name. Why not make him convener? Why not back him as a prime ministerial face? If you can back Deve Gowda as a prime ministerial face 25 years ago, why not Nitish Kumar today?
No, given the Nitish Kumar dispensation correctly, I would somehow agree with, the Congress spokesperson who was speaking on the show earlier, that, it would have been basically disastrous to bring Nitish Kumar as a prime ministerial candidate at the cost of other regional Chhatraps who are more committed to India alliance and also more.
But Nitish Kumar is the one who started the conversation. How can you say he wasn't committed? I mean, today you can argue that he was very easy to run away with. but he's the one who started the conversation. It wasn't the Congress who started the conversation.
Correct, Rishabh. You know, that's the one aspect of looking at it. I was looking at it from the different angle that if he was so committed, because it is Nitish Kumar himself who consistently maintained, and I don't know what internally he conveyed to different India alliance leaders, but he consistently maintained that his only ambition is now left to create this credible alliance against BJP and outs the BJP from the power, viewing it as a communal and divisive force in the Indian politics. It is the Nitish Kumar's commitment. And secondly, I'll just make a small point here that whatever opposition, I won't say there wasn't any opposition, but whatever reservation was in the India bloc to make Nitish Kumar as a convener or declare as a prime ministerial candidate was coming from the parties and leaders whom he brought to the India bloc.
Okay, so not necessarily from the Congress itself. Yes, Mamata Banerjee could have had an objection. Maybe Arvind Kejriwal could have an objection. But Akhilesh Yadav could have an objection. Yeah, so we don't know. Yes. But what's the bottom line? The bottom line is Nitish was planning what's best for himself. Okay, because please, if you today come and tell me that no, the RJD was doing corruption for the past 1 year, I mean, oh my gosh, are we not aware of the fodder scam before we formed the government 1 year ago? I mean, are you not aware of the charges against Misa and Tejasvi in themselves? Okay, so give credit to Tejasvi that despite all the corruption, his father being one of the only politicians in the country to be convicted of corruption. There have only been two, Jayalalitha and Lalu Yadav. Everybody else has cases going on forever. Okay. So let's not kid ourselves. Nitish knew exactly what he was doing. Let's not go into the ideology of this is communal force, this is corrupt force. That's all nonsense. This is opportunism. Opportunism has happened. He did it last time. He did it again. Okay. So why Nitish did it, as I said, this is why. He saw the writing on the wall. The JDU last month was in the midst of a coup. He would have vanished into political oblivion. He's seen what's happened to Uddhav Thackeray. Okay, he has seen what is happening to Sharad Pawar. He has seen what's happened to Chandrababu Naidu. Okay, so let's not kid ourselves. He saw it on the wall and he has saved himself at this point of time to fight another day. What comes another day, we don't know. But that doesn't answer the premise of the question of what this makes an impact on the larger question of the stakes of the Lok Sabha. But don't kid yourselves. This government formation is not for the interests of the people of Bihar. This is all political maneuvering for 2 months later. Savia Rodriguez on the broadcast with me. Savia, of course, you have to represent the party and you will insist that you are here for the working for the people of Bihar. But let's not insult the intelligence of our viewers. Yes, 2024 elections, general elections are important. So my question is, Nitish Kumar has something to gain. What does the BJP have to gain? Why bring him in? Why not go it alone?
You see, Rishabh, let's look at the genesis of the India alliance in the first place. Like I've said several times on your show and various different programs, the India alliance is a castle built on the sand, and gentle waves of nature will take one block at a time. That's what happens to a castle on the sand. Now, of course, BJP. Now, if you think BJP is not going to play the game that is necessary of snakes and ladders as far as politics is concerned, it is never going to grow as a political party. So today, it has decided that Nitish Kumar is necessary for certain aspects of the Lok Sabha. It has decided to work along with it. Now, the question you should be asking is, why, as a man who has been at the forefront of the India alliance, who claims he has been responsible for stitching the India alliance, want to walk away? You might think it's opportunism, and rightfully so. But then it clearly shows that he saw the future of his political career. He saw the future of the country, probably, with Narendra Modi and the BJP. And that's going to happen to a lot of people in the alliance. Why? Because everybody does not come under a core ideology, Rishabh. They are coming under one mission, that is to defeat the BJP. And that is a problem with many people in India.
Okay.
The
All
issue
right.
should not be defeat the BJP. The issue is what are you going to do for India?
Okay.
And that is where they've got it wrong.
Okay. It is reasonable for people, again, an intelligent audience out there to say that, all right, the BJP has to not enter an election with such high stakes, with such big personalities and the future of the country at stake on a tide of overconfidence. They have to do everything possible that not only themselves directly, their candidates, but their partners and allies deliver a thumping majority, and sometimes that requires pragmatic arithmetic on what is possible and what is not possible. If the
Correct.
BJP felt it would have swept Bihar's 40 seats by itself, it would have swept them by itself. The BJP feels it is beneficial for the JDU to contest a few seats and add to the tally, which might be useful in whatever scenario comes next. So they've made a pragmatic decision. So the question then is, Savio Rodriguez, in the consequence of the BJP approaching the 2024 elections, will the BJP approach it from the point of view that the India Alliance claimed, that this is not about the Central National Party, that we are going to give space to all the regional parties and we intend to approach this not as a BJP election but as an NDA election?
Well, rightfully so, Rishabh, because the most important aspect for the BJP is to ensure that we cross 400 seats. And to cross 400 seats, you have to work together with the NDA partners in order to achieve that. Right now, the NDA itself will be forming so much of alliances and strong alliances because that is the intent. Say, I keep coming back. Does the country need an opposition? The answer is yes. But the opposition cannot work on a premise that you're anti-BJP because the country and the people want to have a pro-India approach to what is happening. Unfortunately for the India Alliance, it has not got a pro-India approach. It's not telling the people what is required for India. It's telling the people just one message. We are anti-BJP. And that's not cutting ice with a large section of the people who are the voters and political leaders who are a part of the India Alliance itself.
Okay. So I don't know. I mean, of course, Gyanindraji is already upset with that. So Gyanindraji, I'm going to come to you in a second. Let me get Pooja back into this conversation. Okay, Pooja. Now Nitish Kumar has done what he's done. Ho gaya, it's finished. Okay. The question now remains is, for the Congress party, as a party in itself, forget the India Alliance for a second, because the India Alliance does not exist without the Congress party. That is the only party which has a credible opportunity to take on the BJP nationally. Now, nobody can say, you might have lost, but nobody can say the Congress party is irrelevant in Rajasthan, irrelevant in Madhya Pradesh, irrelevant in Gujarat, irrelevant in Haryana. You are very much important political players in these states. You won in Karnataka, you won in Telangana. So there is a relevance for the Congress party. But Pooja ji, in any state, the regional parties and other parties have all developed at the expense of the Congress. Look at what Arvind Kejriwal did to you in Gujarat. He took away 10-14% of votes from you, from a 40% odd vote share to 25%. All these parties are damaging the Congress first. They might damage the BJP later. How does this make sense for you as a party?
I think when we talk about alliance, Rishabh, when we talk about alliance, Mr. Rodriguez was mentioning a game of snake and ladders. I want to really ask him who started this game of snake and ladders, who took out the Mr. Eknath Shinde faction, giving him crores and crores of rupees and dissolving a stable government in Maharashtra, who took out the Ajit Pawar faction from the Sharad Pawar faction. This is BJP that has started this game of, this unhealthy, this unethical game of snake and ladders. Today when Nitish Kumar, what's the biggest joke of the day? Today when Nitish Kumar stood in the Raj Bhavan and said, "Main Nitish Kumar puri satyanishta se," he's saying satyanishta se, बिना भय, द्वेष, अनुराग या पक्षपात के लिए लोगों के लिए काम करता. When we talk about working for the people, we are saying what is Congress, every regional parties has come at the expense of Congress. I agree with your statement. But where are we heading as a nation? Nitish Kumar didn't do this for the future of the country. He did this for his own future, whatever 2-3 months he has been left with. When we talk about, thousands of people queuing up for and employment opportunity
No, no,
is
no,
rare.
ma'am, I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation, and of course, this is not a political rally. Okay, so I'm asking you a question because it's a practical question. Now, what you say only matters if you come to power. Okay. Now, yes, do ugly things happen in politics? Yes, Y.S. Sharmila now is in the Congress party when her brother was persecuted under the Congress rule of the UPA. So, this all happens all over the place. You were also in alliance with the Shiv Sena, which is not necessarily your ideological partner, just like the BJP for some reason was in alliance with the PDP in Kashmir.
A stable government,
So, ma'am, okay, politicians do what matters. Okay, I'm not getting into that let's leave the rhetoric. It's a very straightforward question. It's a practical question. Mamata Banerjee left the Congress and became the primary political force in Bengal. The Congress in Bengal is in trouble. In Bihar, in a 243-member assembly, you only have 19. And if memory serves me right, was it 0 in the Lok Sabha last time around? In UP, you are in a lot of trouble. Akhilesh is telling you how many seats he's going to give you. In Gujarat, Arvind Kejriwal took away your seats. How does it benefit the party? The party obviously should be standing on its own, fighting on its own. Why does it feel that these people are friends when they're eating you away?
See, the local regional parties have come at the expense of Congress, are completely agreeing to it. But what do we want to serve? What vision do we want to serve to the people of India? Is that why we have come together?
Are you willing to destroy the Congress party in order to defeat the BJP? Are you willing to fight less than 272 seats?
Please remember, the last 3 states election, we polled 10 lakh more votes than BJP. So when you say Congress is finished, you have
I'm not saying Congress is finished. I am saying, are you willing to contest less? I just told you you're very relevant in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Telangana, Karnataka. So it is very relevant. Are you willing to contest less than 272 seats, thereby denying yourselves the opportunity to form a government on your own right?
Let me answer for the larger political good, for the issues of people at hand. We are ready to take a backseat where our regional players are important, and that has been the fundamental principle of India.
So maybe the Congress would willing to contest less than the majority of seats, thereby never giving themselves an opportunity to find a uni-party government, or at least a Congress majority on its own. Could be, I don't know, of course, and Pooja reasonably doesn't make that decision either. So I understand her position as well. Somebody else will have to make that decision. We don't know, okay? But it's a complicated thought process for the Congress, and I have some sympathy for the Congress. It's not an easy one. It's a difficult one. You have, do you give all the regional parties all the seats, or do you contest them all yourselves? Obviously, it's a complicated thought process. Let me get Vineet Goenka back into this. Vineet Goenka, is the BJP living in the reality of the day that the kinds of cent% performances that are going to be required in several states, which were delivered in 2014 and 2019, where I think in Bihar, the NDA got 39 out of 40, if I'm not mistaken, okay? In places like Haryana, Delhi, Gujarat, Rajasthan, I mean near cent%, every single seat you won, okay? That this is not easy, and therefore you need friends.
Rishabh, I think in politics, and especially in Indian kind of democracies, numbers do matter. And Bharatiya Janata Party is a serious party which plays all the part of its role very seriously. So, of course, there are 3 counts. If you have 272 plus, you form a government. But if you have to really prove yourself, you'll have to get 1 more seat more than the last number of seats you got. So, it will be 303 plus at least 1 more seat. But as far as it goes for the country would like to have Narendra Modi ji to repeat the 3rd time as a Prime Minister. I'm trying to tell one thing to Dr. Pooja, who in turn can convey it to her leadership. 40 years back, a 40-year-old Rajiv ji got more than 400 seats in Bharat. Today, after 40 years, his own son will decimate Congress to just 40 seats. See the plight.
No, I don't know. No, we don't know. But that wasn't my question. So you answered my question. You're saying, yes, the BJP should be pragmatic, okay, and it should take on friends if friends are available. And yes, poll calculation should be done, okay. So then my follow-up question, Vineet Goenka, regardless of whether Rajiv did this or what Rahul will do, we don't know. It's not looked good in 2014. It looked even worse in 2019. It might be even worse in 2024. I don't know. I don't want to predict it, okay. I can't say. So my question to you, Vineet Goenka, is a larger one. For 10 years, the BJP has had the NDA coalition, but it has not needed it It has been well past the majority mark on its own. The people of India have given a verdict that at the national level, they want a national party to form the government on its own, regardless of allies it might choose to not to take. Is there a reason to conclude that no, actually the future is coalition governments, not single party governments?
See, I personally believe in every sensible person will believe that larger number of hands, larger number of brains to put together so that the development happens better. So every person who gets elected is a voice of this country, is a voice of the citizen, and he also contributes in turn to the development. So why not have more number of people? Two, it gives you a stable government. Stable government gives you development and also confidence in the international political scene. What we have seen in the last 10 years, we have never seen our prime minister or government or the country been respected in the international arena, whether it is geopolitics, whether it is geoeconomics, in the both sphere. So I think more the merrier. So Bharatiya Janata Party, even if it can get elected on its own, it is always good to have partners who are sensible, partners who contribute in development. And I have seen in the last 10 years, each partner contributed and they have been respected alike. So if Nitish has come, it's a good, one more thing. Tomorrow, if somebody else comes who has not been discussed today, it will be a further development.
Okay, I don't know who. Naveen Patnaik, Mamata Banerjee, come on. It can't be everybody, okay? It can't be everybody. Might be a few more, okay? All right, but we'll leave it at both Savio and Vineet ji are smiling. Even Gyanendra ji is I'm hoping, suppressing a smile on that thought, who it could be. Probably not a few. But let me then pose a larger question. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past, 75 years of elections in India and government formation in India, about 18 or 19 have been spent under coalition governments. The first few didn't turn out well. Time of Sitaram Kesari, Congress largest party in the Lok Sabha, you had I.K. Gujral, Deve Gowda, didn't end well. That was not happy news for the country if the government is collapsing every literally few months. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ran a coalition government successfully. So did Manmohan Singh, or rather the Congress party, or however you want to juxtapose it, for 2 terms. Now you can argue it that coalition governments hobble you. You can say no, they represent people better. I'll leave that question open to you. But I'll pose the larger question. Gyanendra Mishra, we saw the rise of regional parties and thereby the decline of the Congress's ability to deliver those 400 seats or majority marks, and therefore the rise of coalition governments. If there was no rise of regional parties, if there was no decline of Congress, the Congress would have kept winning or some other party would have won a direct majority. Does that trend continue? Look at what's happened to the Shiv Sena. Look at what's happened to the NCP. Look what's happened to KCR. Look what's happening to the JDS. Look at what is happening to Mayawati. Are we seeing regional parties dominate Indian politics going into 2024?
My take on Rishabh is that for the near future, some of the the regional party would have relevance as the national politics, and would need by any stronger political force, central political force like Congress or BJP, to have them as an ally. We are not looking at a near future where we will say that Indian politics will return to the 2 party system and the regional parties will lose their relevance for all and ones. So I am not looking at that position, because I know you are alluding to the diminishing of some of the regional parties, but the diminishing is not in the sense of parties, but diminishing in the sense of party leadership. Like if the NCP has been bifurcated, so it is not as if that the NCP as a force, as a regional force, has completely gone away. Maybe that there is a dilution of the power of Sharad Pawar, but then simultaneously and proportional increase in the power of Ajit Pawar and others. Same is with the Uddhav Thackeray. So it's not as if that the Shiv Sena has gone into BJP or Congress or submerged into it, but another leadership or another faction within the force has emerged. So therefore, this is the way I am looking at it. And particularly when we'll talk about a credible opposition to the ruling dispensation, which is an important part of a democratic political system, if you need to have a credible opposition, obviously you're trying to win the election, but even for that, it is important for Congress to have allies, the regional parties.
Gyanendra ji, I accept it. Okay, but let's take it as a premise. Since you're not officially representing, obviously, the Congress party, you're giving us your personal opinion here, okay?
Yes.
But let us say the Congress party, let's just say, for argument's sake, okay? It's not a decision that's been announced, okay? But for argument's sake, the Congress says, all right, we are open to a seat sharing agreement with Mamta and Akhilesh and all the others. And we are willing to contest only 255 seats, which means that there is no mathematical possibility of ever forming a direct majority, or at least forming a direct majority in 2024. Should they do it? Should they sacrifice their own party's prospects in the hope that the coalition wins?
If you ask my opinion, Rishabh, I would say yes, because for Congress party, given their current strength nationally, to expect that they on its own credentials can get a 272 plus vote and therefore form the next government on their own would be, something to, if you ask me, is something which is not on table. And I think that is a clear realization in the Congress. So therefore, in my view, the way I look at it, when you talk about the relevance of the Congress party, its relevance will be felt more if with the credible coalition with the regional parties, it is able to form an alternative government rather than being oblivion and out of power for the next 5 years.
Okay, absolutely. That's a reasonable answer because it appeals to logic. It is better to be in government as the largest partner, perhaps not the primary partner in the sense of having your own numbers like the BJP has in this government, okay, than to be, so the scenario is that if you're the Congress, you have to compute this. You have to compute that, listen, defeat the BJP, come hell or high water, in whatever permutation combination required. Form the government, okay, as a single largest constituent of the government, good enough. And because the BJP will be defeated, thereby the Congress revival will automatically happen over the next 5, 10, whatever years. Or the worst case scenario, that the arc of history is telling you that the regional dimension to India's politics at the national Lok Sabha election level is declining. For 10 years, the people in these states have voted for a national party to represent them in the Lok Sabha at the constituency level, not for the regional party Lok Sabha leaders. I'll give you an example. Delhi is a great example. Aam Aadmi Party sweeps the Delhi election at local level, but the BJP sweeps at national level. Okay, so there is a bifurcation between the two. If the arc of history is in favor of the national parties, at the very moment that there is a national party resurgence, which would be to the benefit of the Congress as a national party, is when you give up contesting seats and those regional parties all lose, because in those states there is no Congress contender, it's all RJD, somebody else, and that all goes to the BJP. And maybe if you had contested them, you would have won because people wanted to vote for a national party. It's a very difficult one. Okay, so let me get in Savio Rodriguez. Savio, put on your journalist hat for a second, okay? It's a difficult one, posing to you, okay? 19 years of coalition governments out of 75, okay? Majority of those years dominated by the Congress party, and 10 years dominated by the BJP. Now, you can't take that away from Narendra Modi. It's been 10 years. 10 years are now elapsing next month. Okay? Are we seeing trouble in the ranks of regional parties when it comes to Lok Sabha elections? I'm not talking about assembly. Are regional parties in trouble in Lok Sabha elections?
No, I don't think they're in trouble, Rishabh. What is happening primarily is over the last 10 years, the country and the political dispensation in the country.
Yeah, can you hear us? Okay, I think we might have lost that connection. We're going to just take the same thought. Are regional parties, when it comes to Lok Sabha elections, are they in decline? And sometimes that decline has been to the benefit of the Congress, sometimes it might have been to the benefit of the BJP. But there's no running away from the fact, sir, that, there are certain core faces that when I was starting off in journalism, people like Mayawati, who were, decision makers, power brokers in the country, they've all vanished from the front line of things.
And political leaders...
Okay, I think we got Savio back. Savio, finish your thought. Then I'll come to Viniji. Savio, go ahead.
So primarily what I'm saying is that you have political leaders who were a part of the regional power centers that existed in the country. However, over the last 10 years, you are seeing that the country is looking at a leadership that is going to take the country forward. So today, national politics is revolving around the central leadership itself and the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. So those who align with Prime Minister Modi's vision for India, those are the regional parties that will continue to see growth as far as their political dominance is concerned in regional areas. Those who tag along with the India Alliance or the Congress might see a decline. But the point is this: the politics of India is changing. The politics of India is not about regional satraps. The politics about India is how can our regional aspect connect to the national aspect of politics. And that's the difference, Rishabh. That's what you're seeing over the last 10 years. Today, political leaders, even in regional parties, they are gravitating to the BJP because they realize at the national level politics, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the clear leader for the country. In fact, I'll give you examples from Goa. There are many, many people in Goa who at a regional level may or may not vote for the BJP. But when it comes to national politics, they definitely vote for Narendra Modi. And that's the difference.
No, I don't disagree with the premise that a vote, I mean, there are many people who become Lok Sabha MPs because people were voting for Modi, not necessarily the candidate. So I agree with that premise that yes, there is a Modi factor in general election in this country. It has been a reality for 10 years. Anybody who says it doesn't matter is obviously being rather naive and disconnected from reality. But the premise of the argument is that a Lok Sabha election is happening in 2 months' time. The BJP has chosen pragmatism, that it does want allies. It is respectful of mathematics. That mathematics does matter. 3-4% of the vote can make a huge difference. And every seat does count. So let's not presume that everything is going to go our way and cent percent is going to come our way every time. So I respect all of that. I respect the Nitish Kumar trying to stay relevant in politics and throwing a last dice. He is capable of doing so and he's done it. Okay. The question now then becomes, is the capacity of putting together a united front. Pooja ji, are you confident now, we are beginning February, that there will at the end of the day, and the end of the day has to be within a week or 2 weeks, a comprehensive seat sharing plan for the India Alliance?
Very confident, Rishabh. We are extensively talking on the seat sharing formula and very confident that we will have a complete structural breakup of the seat sharing between the India Alliance parties.
Okay. If a seat sharing structure does come your way, in which I'm assuming and logically the Congress will have the majority of the seats to contest since it's a pan-India party, should and would the decision of who will be the Prime Minister be deferred to post-election scenario, or do you think it's pragmatic to have a clear leadership?
That should be the way in the democracy. A Prime Minister should be the one which all the elected representatives sit and decide. And that should be the way, you know, we have to, as I said earlier, we have to move around away from the centralization of politics, that municipal elections, state elections, Lok Sabha elections, every elections would be fought in the name of Mr. Narendra Modi ji. And we have to fight away from the centralization of politics when we have come together to fight for the people of India. And that's why a Prime Minister candidate would be declared after the elections are over. And when the elected representatives...
There is one risk, ma'am, and I have to ask you the question and you answer it the best that you can, okay? The one risk is that the Congress ends up fighting the seats primarily where it has the best chances. Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, where it's been the dominant party. And less seats in the states where in Tamil Nadu, in West Bengal, on UP, where it has not been the dominant party. But if your allies do very well, and you do very badly, it's disaster, ma'am, because you would have given up. Maybe somebody in Bengal wanted to vote for the Congress, but you let your enemy number one in Bengal have that seat, and you lost out all those chances. And that's the end of the Congress. In 2019, Mamata Banerjee almost pipped you in the number of Lok Sabha seats. MK Stalin, I mean, they're almost near your number. The two of them together are more than your number.
So I think, Rishabh, this is a presumption that you're making that Congress fears disaster, Congress fears badly, and we'll be losing out on our 2019 numbers. We have started our Lok Sabha preparations. Our allies have started our Lok Sabha preparation. We will be going into the Lok Sabha together, and let's see this. I'll come to your show again, and we will fare pretty well. And that's what I am very confident.
I'm not in the business, ma'am, predicting elections. If I was in the business of predicting elections, hell, I could have become chief minister.
Not make this presumption that if Congress fares badly.
No, I'm not going to do it. There is a wisdom of the crowd. The BJP has just shown you today it is respecting the wisdom of the crowd. The wrath of mathematics, that a few percentage of the vote does matter.
The wrath of mathematics and not the wisdom of crowd.
The wisdom of the crowd is actually a scientific statistical phenomenon. You can Google it. It's a real thing.
After all the bad blood, frequent betrayals, and their claim of coming back with 400 plus seats, they have again aligned with the same partner with whom Mr. Amit Shah, the number 2 in the NDA government, number 2, he said कि Nitish जी के लिए दरवाजे हमेशा बंद हो गए हैं.
Ma'am, well, we know what Nitish ji was saying last month, and we know what Kharge ji was saying about Nitish ji a couple of months ago. So come on, let's be realistic. In politics, the flip-flops happen. Is it abject opportunism? Yes, it is abject opportunism. I'm saying it is abject opportunism. Nitish Kumar can't tell us that he's done this for the benefit of the Bihari people.
It should not be labelled as wisdom of people, is what I am saying.
The wisdom of the crowd is what's going to happen in 2 months' time when an election takes place. Political maneuvering before that is not, of course, wisdom of the crowd. That's the wisdom of Nitish Kumar in this case for his own benefit. Okay. Now I have to touch upon another tack which is worth comprehending, and get me Gyanendra Mishra into this conversation. Gyanendra ji, from the perspective of the regional parties now, we've seen the perspective of the Congress, we've discussed the perspective of Nitish Kumar, we've discussed the perspective of the BJP. But if you are Mamata Banerjee, okay, and let's start with Mamata because she now becomes the dominant regional party, the biggest one. Then there's Stalin. You can argue Naveen Patnaik, but we don't know which way he's going to go, probably neither. Okay. So if Mamata Banerjee knows that the BJP has emerged in her state not only as a Lok Sabha opponent but also as an assembly opponent. But she has built her career destroying the left and the Congress from which she left. What does she do? How does she now process this? Does she go along with the alliance? Gyanendra ji.
Look, my take on that is that I believe that Mamata ji is very committed to alliance, and she has a reason to be committed to alliance because she now, as you rightly said, she feels that Congress right now is not in a dominant position to challenge her, whether at a regional level, state level, or at the Lok Sabha level. So obviously she sees BJP as a real challenge to her from the strength of Lok Sabha as well as a potential challenge to her state leadership and state rule. And therefore, she has no choice, to be with the alliance. And therefore, the Congress does not want to take away that comfort platform for Mamata Di by insisting upon to fight the more seats where there may be a reasonable estimation on the part of the Congress.
Okay, but Gyanendra ji, then why make life difficult for the Congress? I mean, look what the Congress's own leader from the state, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, is saying. He is saying it's become difficult for us to even organize Rahul Gandhi's rallies. I mean, Amit Shah tries to do a rally, the chopper permissions get denied. We've seen all that fight in the past. But why do that with Rahul Gandhi?
No, so I think that may be a posturing right now. See, what happens, Rishabh, you have raised a very important, the dynamics of the politics that, and you viewed it from one particular angle that the regional party, most of the regional party has risen at the cost of Congress. and there is this estimation and realization on the part of the regional parties, because if it is happen one way, it is going to happen other way as well, in the sense that when regional party gets weaker, it will be the Congress which will then get strengthened at their cost, because this is the vote being exchanged, or the electorate being exchanged between the regional party at the cost of Congress, and then Congress at the cost of regional party. So the regional party at one level is also very conscious of this fact that in efforts to defeat the BJP, they don't seem to lose too much of an ground to the Congress, because they feel that if they
this
lose
is
too
the
much
complexity.
of a ground to the Congress,
Gyanendra ji, thank you for at least attempting to address the complexity with me. I appreciate it. Okay. But ladies and gentlemen, here's the complexity of the matter. And let me distill it once again. This is the premise of the conversation I was trying to set up here. It's obviously a difficult one to happen. Let's give it an example. Let us say there is a voter in West Bengal. That voter knows that if he votes for Mamata Banerjee, there is a fair chance that she forms the government in Bengal. But he knows that if you vote for Mamata Banerjee in the national level, she can only form the government if she is in an alliance with others. There's going to be a coalition government. But if that voter does not want to see a coalition government at the center for whatever reasons, the only option he's got is the BJP. Because the Congress has walked away from the fight in favor of Mamata Banerjee. They've abandoned their seats. So it can cut both ways. It can be beneficial to the BJP, because that voter who wants to see national parties at the national and regional parties in the region doesn't have the Congress option available. It's a fascinating conversation, of course, open to interpretation 2 months later, but it depends on what the trend is going. Are we back into regional political primacy in the Lok Sabha, or are we seeing national parties emerging as we've seen BJP in the past 10 years? And if the trend is that national parties are re-emerging once again when it comes to Lok Sabha elections, that is beneficial to the Congress, not just the BJP.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.